welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You found the Olsons. Alright, yeah. Today we are sailing into San Juan, Puerto Rico. Alright, sorry about the wind noise. We're gonna voice over this video. That was a Norwegian ship in the distance. I couldn't make out and was never able to figure out what ship that was. And it is very windy at this point, so. When we got out on the wing, there was only a few other people that showed up for quite some time. Very peaceful. So approaching here is the pilot boat. So this pilot boat circles around the back of this ship, and he or she entered the ship from the other side. We aren't on that side, so I couldn't see that. For those of you that don't know what a pilot boat is, most of these ports are very small, and there's very specific places that they can bring these ships in. So the port has a pilot that comes out and takes over bringing the ship in, and when it's time to leave, they also pilot the ship out of the port, and they come out in a little boat, they run up beside the ship we're on, and they enter, sometimes off from I guess it's off a rope ladder. And yeah, it's fun to watch. The area that we enter into this port is quite narrow, so we just take a nice slow approach, and the farther we went along, the more people gathered out on this wing to enter. One of the gentlemen that was on here is from Puerto Rico, and he flew to Miami for this cruise, thinking that we were going to a couple different ports, and because of some violence in those areas, we got shifted to San Juan, and he lives about 45 minutes from San Juan, so flew to Miami to cruise back home, then returned to Miami to fly home. And you can start making out the other ships that are in port. There's a Norwegian ship. I think there's a Princess behind that, or to the side of the Norwegian. A building like right straight ahead of our ship here, that is the ferry system that they have here to get from Old San Juan to San Juan. So we're off the ship, and we're heading through kind of a little market area, park, lots of little vendors, photo opportunities. There's a Starbucks. If you're liking the video so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Have the I love San Juan. The one thing we noticed are how narrow the sidewalks are. It's like the traffic is right on top of them. So we walked up the hill, which is fairly steep. So as we're walking into this fort, in 1634 they began building the fort. In 1634 they also began building walls around the city of San Juan. This courtyard area was used for the troops to gather, do their drills. Some of these areas here were used for storage, used for barracks, used for a kitchen area. And they were all designed in a way to take the impact from cannon fire. The views through the cutouts, the windows, the whatever you want to say, whether it's out into the city or out to the ocean, unbelievable. And then we started walking through some of the passages, and they just lead to many different areas. There's places you can look up and see ventilation and lighting shafts. I will be heading up on top of that next level. And these ramps are very steep. Give you a heck of a workout. but it is one of the highest areas in the city. So for being able to defend yourself, see what's on the horizon, definitely the right place to observe your enemies. It's quite the view. I look out over the ocean. So now we went down near the gift shop and bathroom facilities, and we're heading up back toward the courtyard plaza area. And to the left, that's where we went up to that observation area, and then the tunnel to the right is what we just came up out of from the bathroom area. And now we're headed up to another section, and this section overlooks the ocean, and I can imagine these are gun turrets looking out over the ocean. And I chose not to go down that little corridor because the line was kind of deep, and it looked like there's only room for one or two people. So push that cannon up in there and let her rip. cannonballs. And now you can start seeing our ship. It's the farthest one to the right. So we ventured down a tunnel that intersects with a ramp that takes us back up to the next observation area. Just like that. Check out that view. Now it looks like in the floor there's a rail, and I assume that that rail would have had a cannon that could be aimed. Now we're in another gun turret lookout area. And there's a great view of the port and the Norwegian ship and the Princess ship and the Symphony of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean ship that we're on the right hand side. And now we venture down a spiral staircase that takes us into more storage areas and barracks. That overlook the plaza. Also, they had a bunch of cannons on display. And here's a view at what one of the barracks would have looked like. And this, I believe, is a water cistern, one of several that are here, used for water at the fort. Now we're headed to an observation area that's way closer to the port than anywhere else. You can kind of see a great view of the fort from this location, and then as I spin around, you can see the ships at the port. And that concludes our visit to the fort, and now we're going to do a little walking around and see if we can find some souvenirs and head back to the ship. So when we were in Puerto Rico, it was just after the holidays, and this street leads to the governor's mansion and was still decorated for Christmas, although they were in the process of taking down the decorations. And now we're down in front of the Symphony of the Seas at the port, getting ready to go through security and get back on the ship. And that concludes San Juan, Puerto Rico. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.